you guys been passing this budget on time, unlike some other organizations in our country?
Well, our city has passed an on-time balanced budget every single year ever since we've been incorporated since 1987. It's just something that we feel very strongly about, that we never ever spend more than we take in, and that means that we will have a balanced budget every time.
And part of that budget is in things in the Santa Clarita 2020 plan. So that's actually wrapping up next year. So what are the biggest factors or the biggest projects in that plan?
Every 5 years, we put together a plan. We have put together a plan 5 years ago that ends, well, 4 years ago, that ends in 2020, and we set goals for ourselves. And for this span, we decided we needed to build a brand new community center in Canyon Country. We're building a new sheriff's station, a much needed sheriff's station. Our sheriff's department has totally outgrown
Hmm.
our old one, and this is going to be over 45,000 square feet. It's going to have a helipad, it's going to have a maintenance facility. It is going to be able to have enough space well into the future to build our sheriff's department even better than what it is right now.
Yeah, so the current sheriff station, I believe, was built in the 70s on Magic Mountain Parkway, and now it's moving to Golden Valley, which is a more central location in our
Exactly.
valley. So do you believe that the sheriff's department can provide even better service now that they're going to be in a more central location?
Absolutely, because our city is has a large expanse. I mean, we have many, many square miles, and for it to be in the center of the city is something that is going to be very beneficial.
That's great. And then the Canyon Country Community Center, it's going to be near Sierra Highway. So what does that mean for that part of the city to have this new space?
Well, it's right on the corner of Sierra Highway and Soledad Canyon Road. We do have a community center, a small community center on Sierra Highway, but this is going to be able to accommodate the east side, Canyon Countryside. We want to make sure that that area is completely represented very well. So our new community center is going to be able to provide all kinds of programs, not only for our youth, but for our seniors as well. Just expand on the programs that we have, and it will be available in 2020, late 2020 or 2021.
Gr-
It's under construction right now.
Great. So if you see some construction around that area of Soledad and Sierra, that is going to be the new Canyon Country Community Center. Now, a few weeks ago, you were part of a meeting about transportation with the San Fernando Valley Council of Governments. What were you guys discussing?
Well, one of my interests on city council has been transportation. We are gridlocked on our freeways right now, and the public needs to have access to good quality transportation. So, working with Supervisor Catherine Barger, we've put together an Antelope Valley Metrolink plan, and that is in the works right now. It's going to be presented to Metro very soon. One of the exciting things about that is Amtrak has actually asked to be a part of that study because they want to have access to be able to get people out to Bakersfield from Los Angeles much faster than what they do now. Right now, there's a bus and it takes over 3 hours. If they're able to have a train that stops in Santa Clarita, that stops the travel time down to little less than or little about 1.5 hours. That's going to be huge for those people that need to take the train and get to Bakersfield. So this study is extremely important. We're talking about the improvements that are needed in order to make the line more accessible with more trains, with less wait time, and figuring out how to get the dollars to do that. We believe the dollars are available. We just need to make sure we advocate enough to get those dollars out to where we need it the most when we need it, which is now.
And you mentioned Supervisor Barger. How has that partnership with the county and the city helped with this transportation issue?
Well, Catherine Barger has been magnificent in realizing what we need in order to get the dollars to fix the Metrolink trains from LAX clear out to Lancaster. We went on a tour recently. We took the train and noticed where there's single track that needs to be double tracked. The tunnel that we have right now was built eons ago in the 50s, and the tunnel is a one-track tunnel. We need to figure out how to get another track somewhere outside the tunnel so that we can double track the trains, and it's going to be a huge improvement.
So I think our listeners that are commuting from the San Fernando Valley to Santa Clarita every day are happy with this news that the city and the county are working together to try and solve this issue. Now, transportation is not only trains. The city is also undergoing a survey on the bikes and trails in the community. What is the city looking for from the community?
Well, it's very important to be able to get from your mass transit to your jobs, which is called first mile, last mile. So the city, excuse me, the city is putting together a plan and asking the public to weigh in on what they think is needed for our buses. And that plan is also in the works. It should be coming out soon. We need to be able to provide transportation within Santa Clarita and also to our commuters taking the bus from Santa Clarita out to the North Hollywood Metrolink station. So being able to have that information and be able to provide the improvements that are needed is really important. Talking about having smaller buses to be able to accommodate people who just need to do short trips.
That's great. So coming up actually on Main Street, right outside our studio in Old Town Newhall, is the 4th of July parade.
Right.
So are you excited? Are you looking forward to the parade?
We look forward to this parade every single year. Every year, the number of residents that come and sit along the route increases. We have organizations and groups that every year improve their floats and improve what they're bringing to the parade. It is truly a community event that brings us all together. Very much looking forward to that. It's going to be on July 4th because it is the 4th of July parade. It's going to start at 9 a.m. and it starts at Hart Park and goes down to 16th Street, so people can line up along the route and really, really enjoy the parade.
And you've seen this community grow from your time on the council and just in your time in our community. So how does it feel to have like such a small town feel, but such a big community?
That's something I hear all the time. Whenever I'm out and about in the community, I'm stopped at wherever I am and people recognize me and they say hello, and I love that. And they say, even though we're a growing city, we're the third largest in Los Angeles County, we still have maintained that hometown feel. I think that's extremely important. I'm very proud to hear that, and I don't ever want that to change.
That's good to hear. So speaking about the parade and the 4th of July, Santa Clarita is a very high fire danger area, and because of that, the city and the sheriff's department are asking people to keep the fireworks to the professionals and not have your own firework at home. So the city has a new app to report fireworks. Can I explain what the app does?
Yes, it's an app. It's the Sheriff's Department app. It's called the RSC Fireworks app. And what they're going to be able to do, if you download that onto your iPhones, you will be able to pinpoint exactly where the fireworks are going off. And the Sheriff's Department will then be able to put together a map so that they will know where these things are going off. And right at the moment, I mean, it's not an immediate reporting, but it's going to set up a database because every year it's the same people who set off these fireworks. All fireworks are illegal. They're dangerous. They create fires. They create havoc where they set them off in neighborhoods, these loud explosions. We have our veterans who've come back from fighting for our safety, and if you set these things off where they're sleeping, I mean, this can create trauma. Think of your babies, sisters and brothers and kids sleeping at night, being awakened by these explosions. It's really traumatic and it's dangerous. So we're hoping that people will download this app, the RSC Fireworks app, to be able to have a database going. We hope that people will be considerate of others. And we're also having a press conference this afternoon at 3 p.m. at Station 126 on Citrus Avenue. And if you want to have some fun and see how actually dangerous these things can be, they're going to be setting off some of these fireworks there to demonstrate what it can do to your body if you, I mean, it's blown off hands and eyes and created burns, facial burns and such, and it's just sad when that happens.
And for those of you that are unable to join the press conference in person, we'll be actually Facebook Living the press conference, which is very entertaining. They actually blow up a watermelon just to show those dangers firsthand about how powerful these fireworks are. So even though you can go over to a different county, different state, and buy these fireworks at a stand, doesn't mean they're safe. That doesn't mean they are legal. There's actually a $1,000 fine in the city of Santa Clarita limits for using fireworks. So keep it to the professionals. There's actually a show this year or every year at the mall. So how long has that show been going on?
We've done the show now for quite a number of years. I'm not sure exactly what year we started it, but we wanted to be able to have a really great fireworks show in the evening, and it takes place at the Valencia Town Center. Starts at 9:15, and we just urge you to let somebody else shoot off these fireworks, and so that you can enjoy it. And it's really a great atmosphere over there.
And if you turn on AM 1220 or 98.1 FM, we actually have music, patriotic music that is timed to the show itself. So you can kind of complement the show with KHTS as well. So, as part of the 4th of July, a lot of veterans participate in the parade. I know the city does a lot to help the veterans. So, the city has a program called Homes for Heroes.
Yes, exactly. We do, and we have people can purchase banners that will be flown along with our American flags on holidays and such. It's called the Hometown Heroes Banner Program. And the city does subsidize if you find that your family's having a tough time and you're not able to afford the price of the banner. The city will help to subsidize it. And community members can also donate to this program to cover costs for military families. So for more information, I'd like to just kind of give you the app out there. It's called Heroes, HEROES Santa-Clarita.com, where you can get information on how you can acquire one of these for your hometown hero.
And what does it mean to kind of have these banners all across the city, including the Fallen Veterans Memorial on the bridge over Soledad? So what does it mean to have our community honor these veterans?
Well, Santa Clarita is known as one of the most patriotic cities. We honor our veterans in every single way that we can. Our men and women, our sons and our daughters and our family members fighting to keep us free so we can enjoy a 4th of July the way we do enjoy it is extremely important to us. So we do whatever we can. We have the Veterans Historical Plaza as well, where we have Memorial Day events and such, Veterans Day events. We have our a monument there for those that have been lost, clear from, if we can find the names, we're searching for that constantly in all of our wars. Hopefully someday we don't have to put new names on there, but we do honor our veterans. We have participated in what is called our veterans it's a veterans residence community where we have been able to help build 77 homes.
Wow.
And those are affordable homes. It creates a community for our returning veterans and their families so that they can afford a new home. And it's so emotional to be able to see these families accept their keys to these homes. And so we're very proud of what we do in our city to help our veterans in any way we can. There's several veterans organizations. All you have to do is Google veterans in Santa Clarita, and I'm sure you'll get
Oh, there are
all the
many
information, right,
organizations
that you need.
that helps veterans in Santa Clarita. So it's great to be a part of our community that supports these veterans, and actually a lot of veterans own business in the community as well. So what does it mean to for the city to have all these veterans and all these business communities kind of come together and support each other?
Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me and for our city council. We need to support our veterans coming back in any way we can. And creating new jobs here in Santa Clarita is one of the most important things as well. We're known as one of the most business-friendly cities. We don't charge license fees, we don't charge utility fees. We make sure that new businesses coming to our community are able to get the help they need with the permits and such. We have our Economic Development Corporation, the city participates in that. So we put our money where our mouth is, and we make sure that when we're talking about programs, we actually get them implemented.
And actually, speaking about investing in the future of infrastructure and business in Santa Clarita, last night the city council approved a pilot program for dark fiber, which is fiber optic cable that could potentially increase our internet speeds and internet options in Santa Clarita.
Exactly. One of the things we hear constantly from our businesses is that our network speed is not fast enough. And so, in order to accommodate that, last night at our city council meeting, we agreed to lease the dark fiber optics from Santa Clarita clear into downtown Los Angeles so that there are a myriad of ways that we can utilize that fiber in order to bring faster speeds to our businesses.
And just in my conversation with city staff, there's basically two options for internet in our valley, AT&T and T and Spectrum. So this new option could increase up to 50 or even 100 different potential internet service providers for the Santa Clarita Valley. So how will this increased competition help our business and the cost of internet and speed internet in Santa Clarita?
Well, personally, I think competition is good. We continue to create monopolies with all of these companies buying other companies out. And when you don't have competition, that's when it drives the prices up. So anything that can give more competition and be able to lower the prices across the board is something I think is a good thing.
That's great. And I know one thing that you're passionate about, and most of, if not all, the city council is passionate about is our open space. So there are over 200 acres around the Santa Clarita Valley, or 200,000 acres, I believe. There's
11,000 acres.
11,000 acres. Thank
11,000
you.
acres, yes.
11,000 acres around the Santa Clarita Valley, providing a green belt around the valley to preserve the open space. So what does that mean to you personally to kind of have this long-lasting legacy?
Right. Well, since long before I was ever on the city council, open space has been really important. And I don't know, the younger listeners may not realize that we were faced with the world's largest garbage dump in Ellesmere Canyon in the Angeles National Forest, right at the gateway to our city. And that would have created about 2,400 round trips of trucks bringing garbage from all over. And they tried to tell everybody out here like it was a done deal. It wasn't, because I started an organization and we were able to stop that eventually with the help of the city and such. So early on, the city council decided that we were going to create a green space around the city, and we're continuously doing that. We have an open space district which has allowed us to create these 11,000 acres so far. That means that it is open space in perpetuity. No developer can come in and develop in that open space. So we have miles and miles of hiking trails. We have all these wonderful canyons you can visit. We have Towsley Canyon, Ellesmere Canyon, Whitney Canyon. And then, of course, there's the Placerita Nature Center, which if that dump had been built, Placerita could not have survived, because Whitney Canyon was meant to be used as an off-road vehicle park. Nothing against off-road vehicles, but that just wasn't the place for it. So, yes, it's very important to me. It's very important to our city council that we maintain our open space, and we're committed to doing that.
And on the topic of environment and the city advocating for different environmental issues around our valley, the Semaks Mine was shut down thanks to the city as well as the county and federal representatives. So, what did it mean for all three levels of government to work together to on the Semaks issue?
Right. Well, it's not really, I don't want to give a false impression. It's still out there. However, what has happened is we've had legislation, federal legislation, which it canceled the contracts. They have appealed that to the Bureau of Land Management and the Department of the Interior. However, the contracts run out in just a few years. So there, even if they won their appeal, there would not be enough time for them to go ahead and to begin their mining and their contracts because they still have a ton of permits that they would need to get. So essentially, we think it's dead. We just need to hear from the federal government that they have not won their appeal and that this thing is finally done. We think it's done, but we never want to put the cart before the horse. And until we hear that it's done, we're hopeful that it's done. We think it's done, but we're not saying that yet.
And if this were to come to fruition, what would be the impacts of this mine in Santa Clarita?
Well, once again, just like the world's largest garbage dump, this would have been just about the world's largest mining project. And it would have decimated that area out there. It's out past Soledad, on Soledad Canyon Road. It would have decimated the area. Wildlife corridors exist out there. It's the gateway to the national monument out there. And residences, it would be close to residents. I mean, since they first had proposed it, we have a lot of residents that have moved there and actually had been living there. Elementary schools, I mean, it would have decimated our air quality. We would have had gravel trucks coming and going on our roads. And it just would have been devastating to the whole community.
Wow. So that seems like it's coming near the end, and we will update you step by step on that appeal process. Our website, hometownstation.com. So stay tuned on that. And our last issue is also on the environment, is the Whitaker Burmite cleanup. Now, that was set to be finished around 2020. Is it on track, or is it going to keep on going?
No, actually, it is pretty much on track. We just are waiting for the clearance from the state on that. We believe that it will be deemed clean and habitable. Excuse me. Of course, the water underneath, the underground water, is being monitored. Unfortunately, that's not an easy fix, so it's not going to be cleaned 100% right now. It's going to take years to do that. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't areas on that property that can't be built upon. We have roads that are very necessary to our community that can be built as soon as we get the clearance from the state on that. And one of the things that is kind of a misnomer, there's about 986 acres for that whole entire property. 15% of that is what's contaminated. So there are huge areas over there that is not contaminated and that can be safely be built upon. The city council years ago decided that they wanted to make sure that it was completely cleaned up before they started anything. So that's kind of the way it goes.
And what
Excuse me, I
oh
need to
no,
get
you're
drunk.
okay. And what are some potential uses for this property? I know like there's some filming going on there on occasion. So what are some potential uses for this site once it's officially cleaned up?
Well, one of the great things is we have this huge possibility for what can go there. It's like a blank slate. Originally, there was a proposal for 3,000 homes. That proposal is coming to an end, and we're going to be able to be open to a new possibility. Personally, I think we need a conference center out here. We do not have enough space for large meetings. We're desperate in need for that. That would be perfect there. You could have a hotel. You could have some affordable homes there, affordable housing, along with retail. The possibilities are wonderful, and it's really exciting to be able to look forward to what can be built.
So let's looking forward to 2020. There's a lot of good things happening next year in our valley, so stay tuned. Thank you so much, Mayor. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. Getting the word out to our public is extremely important, and I need to thank KHTS, our own hometown station, for helping to do that. Just thank you for having me and being able to have an avenue to get the information out there.
Thank you so much.
98.1 FM and AM